Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the USTA South Carolina College Coaches webinar series. My name is Pamela Banks, and I'm the Manager of Community Engagement, and co-presenting is Amanda Morelli. She serves as the Manager of Tournaments and Player Development. We are so pleased to welcome today Coach Mark Smith of North Greenville University. He's been the head coach for the men's and women's team at North Greenville University since 2016. He spent time as director of tennis at Pebble Creek Club in Taylors. He was a committee chair for player development for USTA Southern and USTA South Carolina. He also served as vice president on the South Carolina Board of Directors. He's been a co-director for the historic Palmetto Championships in Belton for 20 years. He was raised by a tennis family, okay? And he's also served for Team South Carolina 8 times at the Southern Junior Cup. So without further ado, please welcome Coach Mark Smith of North Greenville University.
Thank you, Pamela, and thank you, Amanda, for having me. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. I want to point out I'm repping the Palmetto Championship shirt. We would have been there this weekend, but hopefully we'll get it rescheduled real soon. Coach, I'm just going to start off, take it all the way back to the beginning. What age did you start playing tennis, and who inspired you to start playing tennis?
I don't really know when I started. All I know is that my parents have a picture of me in a diaper, in sneakers, and a tennis racket, and that was it. Both of them were high school tennis coaches, and let me put it this way, I can't remember a time not playing tennis, so I started at a very young age. I think I played my first tournament when I was like 7 years old, and I thought I was pretty good, and I grew up in New Hampshire, and at 7, my dad took me over to a tournament across the state, and about a half an hour later, we were going home. So I wasn't as good as I thought. But that's when I started really young.
Do you think kids should specialize in one sport or play multiple sports?
Yeah, okay, very good. And I think that they should play multiple sports at a young age. In all of my coaching, whether it be at the club level, the high school or college level, the ones that seem to have competed in other sports have seemed to withstand the pressure better when things get tough. The best example I can give you of that, I had a kid that played for me on a high school team in Ohio, and we were in a match in the state semifinals, and it came down to the #1 doubles match, and this team pulled it out, and the newspaper asked him afterwards, was that the most pressure that he faced? That the entire match came down to his doubles match. If we win, we go on to the state finals. If we lose, we're done. And he said that that was the second most nervous that he had been in a game or a sporting situation. He played center on the basketball team, and in a basketball game got fouled with no time left on the clock, and they were down by a point. And he made both shots, but they were at a visiting gym, had everybody hollering, and he said that's when he was most nervous. But he also felt like that helped him, face the nervousness with tennis. The other thing that I see with the multi-sports athletes is a lot better footwork. And I can say that just that you can take a kid that's played soccer or some of the leg sports like that and watch their footwork on the tennis court. And it's not something you have to teach. It's a natural athletic ability. And so I think, playing a lot of different sports at a young age and give them a taste of it is the best thing. The other thing that, and I'm sure all of you are well aware of, is that if you stick with one sport, and especially with tennis, is the burnout. And how that pertains to college tennis is kids work so hard to get a college tennis scholarship. They finally arrive on campus and they've reached their goal. That was their goal through all of junior tennis, is to get a scholarship. And I get some of them that they get there and realize they're not willing to set the next level goal, you know, to get better. They're content with just getting that scholarship. So back to the original thing, the multi-sports, I think, help out. As they get a little bit older, they probably are going to have to specialize just because of how rankings go these days, and also just visibility, you know, with college coaches getting recruited.
Okay. We're going to go back just a little bit back to that childhood portion of your life. Who was your hero when you were a child and why?
Okay. I'm going to show my age now. My hero is Jimmy Connors. And
Okay.
it's funny because watching him, he was kind of brash. And as he got along in his career, I don't know, there was just something about, you know, Jimmy Connors. He was fiery to watch. He was passionate to get behind. And I actually had the opportunity to meet him and drive him to the airport when I was younger. And so, you know, that to me was, you know, just such a big deal. So yeah, Connors was good. I also really thought Connors was one of the best players that ever played, because he could play on any surface, you know, whether it was hardcore, grass, or clay. So, but anyway, that shows my age. I was a big Jimmy Connors fan growing up.
Where were you when you had to drive him?
So I was working at the Volvo International Tennis Tournament up in North Conway, New Hampshire. And this was a tournament that had originally started at the Mount Washington Hotel, with Connors and VJ Amitraj, Eddie Dibbs, Rod Laver, and Kenny Rosewall. There were 8 of them that met up there, and they started this tournament. And it started to get big where they moved it over to North Conway. Long story short, it's the Pilot Pen tournament now. It's just, you know, moved around New England stuff. But anyway, our family would go up there during the 2 weeks of the tournament. My dad was the stadium announcer, announced when the players were coming on. My brother, sister, and I, we were ball boys. And the summer that I was 17 years old, I actually worked center court, where you get towels and drinks for the players and stuff like that. And that's when I got to meet Jimmy Connors. The funny story with it is that during the final day, he actually played both singles and doubles that year. And the reason he did it, normally he only played singles, but that the year before at the tournament, his wife went into labor and he left the tournament. That's when his son Brett was born. And they ended up making a deal. I'll come back and play next year and I'll play doubles. So anyway, Connors is in both the singles and the doubles finals. It's 95 degrees up in New Hampshire at this tournament that day. It's the last day of the tournament, and he is completely soaked through all of his tennis gear. And so he comes on the changeover and he goes, "Mark, I need you to run up and check with my people and see if they have another shirt for me or some more shirts." So on the changeover, I run up, you know, go up. "Oh, I'm sorry. All of Mr. Connors' stuff has been sent back to his condo." Well, all of our stuff was packed. It was the last day of the tournament. So I just ran down to our van, grabbed a white alligator shirt, an Izod shirt, and you know, I brought it down. It's like, "They don't have anything. This is all I've got." And he goes, "This is your own shirt?" And it's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I really appreciate that." He walks over to the little first aid kit, gets the scissors out, and clips the alligator off of my shirt. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Don't worry, I'll make it up to you." Well, at the time, he was sponsored by Robert Bruce, so he couldn't have an Izod alligator out there. Sure enough, the next day in the Boston Globe, there he is hitting his 2-hand backhand, and he's got just his chest showing through the shirt. He had my shirt on it. So anyway, after the doubles match, the state police come down and get me. And I'm thinking, oh boy, you know, I'm 17. I don't know what I've done, but I think they've got the wrong guy, right? They bring me all the way through security up to the thing. And Jimmy pops out of this Volvo car and says, "Mark, where have you been? Come on." So I end up riding with him back to his condo, so that he can give me a couple more shirts. And at that time, he said, I need your help. Can you drive us to the airport? We've got too much stuff. So I ended up driving him to the airport from North Conway to Freiburg, Maine. By the time I got back, my parents were the only people other than the security people waiting for me to return the Volvo car. We got about 1 mile down the road and I had to have my dad pull over, and I got out and threw up. I was so sick from the whole day. But anyway, that, I know that's a long story, but that's how I got to meet Jimmy Connors.
That's bananas.
That's a great story. Okay, one other question, then I'm going to turn you back over to Amanda. How do you define sportsmanship?
I like that. I think that kids these days are trying, and I think that the reason that there is the effort to try and have good sportsmanship is that a lot of us coaches grew up in that era where the sport was created for ladies and gentlemen, and that it wasn't something that you just get to do. It's a privilege to play the sport. And I tried to convey that to my players, that the best show of character is how you react when things are tough, and that, you can see a call one way and be sure in your mind that you're right, but there's a possibility that you could be wrong. And how you act in the next few minutes is really important with sportsmanship. And I have to say, most of my players that play for me, they get that. They realize that. I also think that sportsmanship is an advantage, and I'd really like to see the younger kids adopt this, that you keep yourself in check so much more when you're showing good sportsmanship, when you're not being selfish out there. A lot of times when you're acting up, not having good sportsmanship, it's detrimental to your own game. There's only one player that I've ever seen that could get mad and act that way and still get better, and that was McEnroe. And since then, I have not seen a player that can act that way and still play good tennis. If anybody starts, acting, detrimental to the sport, not showing good sportsmanship, usually it's not going to help them out in the long run.
I agree.
I agree
That's
too.
That's a great example.
It's all about the mental game too. So, Coach, how has COVID-19 impacted your program?
Yeah, well, and we talked a little bit before about this, tremendously. I was reflecting back to the last time that we were together as a team. And I coached both the men's and the women's team. We traveled to Wofford, and I believe it was March 12th. And I said to them on the bus, just with all the reports that were coming in, possible closings, stuff like that, I said, take in this day, just enjoy it, because this quite possibly might be the last time that we are together as a team this spring. Enjoy this day, enjoy the match, enjoy going to dinner after, because like I said, this might not happen again. We got out, maybe got 3 games of doubles in, and it poured. We ended up getting rained out. We did stop for dinner, but that was it. Since March 12, we have not, been together as a team. The kids did real well doing the online, video classes. All of them completed it. We got our grades back, and both the men's and women's team did a great job with overall team GPAs. I believe the women were 3.45 and our men were almost at a 3.7, and that's collective as a whole team. So they did very well with that. On the positive side, we still have a tennis team. And I say that in not a cavalier manner at all. So many of the emails that I'm getting over the last few days are programs that have closed, tennis programs that are not going to continue to run this next year, and that these players would be available. So Yeah, it's affected us tremendously.
Mhm.
I could hear that one coming.
Bless you. Coach, whatever. I'll let you get a drink of water.
Thanks.
What traits do you look for in a recruit?
Yeah, very good. The traits that I look for in a recruit, number one, are you coachable? You know, because I can look and somebody can be a good player, and I'll try this at junior tournaments when I go to watch, or high school matches and everything, is just make one suggestion, you know, one little suggestion, and just see how that player reacts to it. Because in my mind, all I'm doing is, you know, a simple little, you know, thing that, oh, you know, serve looked good. If you move your toss up just a little bit, it looked like you could, you know, really start putting that, you know, first serve percentage. And, you know, just little things like that to find out if, yes, sir, and then they go out and try it, or do I get the little, you know, what does that old guy know? Because there's going to be a time on the changeover or in between points during a match when things are hot, and I actually have something that I feel would help that player out. How is that going to be received? And so if a player's not coachable or thinks that they know it all already, then it's probably not going to work, you know, real well with me. I like to see that they're going to improve. I also like to look for in a recruit is what I have is that their ultimate goal. You know, we talked a little bit about that before, but do you want to come to college to get better, or is this it? Are you just excited? You got a tennis scholarship and you're on the tennis team. And so I look for, are you a good player? What's the upside? Do you, you know, do you look like you can improve? And then the other thing, and probably should have started off with this, is, are you smart? You know, it's amazing that, you know, all the times that, you know, I've gone ahead and tried to get kids, you know, into school when I was coaching or as a teaching pro and everything. And now that I'm on the other side, and my first question all the time is, what's your GPA and what's your SAT score? And for internationals, what's their TOEFL score, which is their English language, you know, equivalency. And, you know, a lot of people think, well, why would I, as an athletic coach, want to know what your GPA is? And the thing is, there's so much academic money available if the kid is a higher GPA and, you know, has a better SAT score. There's a lot of financial aid in there. And that, of course, helps out as far as my budget, you know, what I would put in, you know, from tennis. So, yeah, are you coachable and are you smart?
Mhm.
The funny thing is I know for a fact that you do that at tournaments, because that's what you did last year at the Belton tournament.
Yeah.
And the reactions
The
from
sad
the
is,
kids are so
on the
funny though.
girls' side, that I think out of our top 10 junior high school girls that played high school tennis, only one of them is actually going on to school to play college tennis. But, you know, we had several good high school players that weren't your normal, you know, USTA tournament players, but ones that we go out and check out during the high school season, and had some very good ones. And 9 out of 10 of those girls are going on to college just for academics and not playing college tennis.
Indeed. So, Coach, what should players be doing just to gain your attention?
That's a good question too. You know, one of the things that parents and players can do is email the coaches and let them know that we're on your radar. You know, the coaches mull through just thousands of recruits, and I'm not saying that as an estimated number. The emails that I get every day, a lot of them, the international students, they're letting me know they're interested, that they have this SAT, that they have this GPA, they have this budget, and I'm getting those every day. So South Carolina kids, let me or let some of the other coaches around South Carolina know that you're interested, in playing tennis here, because we try to go around to tournaments and recruit at high school matches and things like that. But it's very difficult if we don't know that you're interested in playing tennis for us too. So by all means, contact, whether it's email, all of us are on social media pages, and most of the coaches that have done these webinars are very available as far as answering questions to players and parents.
Oh, that's excellent. So back to your coaching. How do you describe your coaching style?
I don't know. I'm probably a big teddy bear, but that's probably the one. If you ask the players that, they're like, "Oh, coach, yeah, I am tough, but I tend to let up if everything's going well." And what I mean by that is the group is doing what they're supposed to do. They're practicing on what they need to at practice. They're getting the conditioning in and everything. If there aren't problems, then things go really well. If there are individuals that are having difficulty and everything, then I tend to tighten up a little bit and be a little bit tougher. But the way I look at it, they're all adults, and the biggest thing that that they can learn in this college experience is balance. That in order to get into a university, you've had to balance your time with tennis and with your homework and studying and excuse me. It gets even worse when you're out on your own. Worse, it gets tougher. You don't have your parents there to tell you, hey, it's time to study. You can't go out for pizza with the friends and stuff like that. So a lot of it is teaching them balance, and that's what I do.
All right, Coach, if you could play tennis with any pro, past or present, who would it be and why? We may have already gotten this answer, but.
Oh, it's rapid fire, right? Roger Federer. Even though I grew up loving Jimmy Connors, I would love to hit with Federer. Oh, excuse me.
You'd want to play against him, not with him.
Oh gosh, playing doubles with him, that would be fun. But no, I thought you meant just who would you like to hit with?
That was a follow-up rapid fire. Sorry.
Okay. All right, very good.
Okay, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I don't have to go to every fight I'm invited to.
That's a good one.
And I try to teach my players that too. Sometimes they're just looking. It's like, relax. You don't have to go to every fight.
I like that.
That's a good one. What TV and or movies have you been watching during your time at home?
Oh my gosh, that's going to be a long list. I have watched all of Ozarks, all of Outlander. I couldn't even tell you. All the new movies that have come out on Netflix, it's been horrible. So bad that I've watched some of these series and binge watch them that I could go back and start again and not even remember what was in season 1. So the television has been bad.
Oh yeah, sounds like you've been stacking it.
What's that? Yeah, right.
Yeah, we've been playing stuff in the background. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't tell you half the things that have gone on in the show, actually. Just it's on in the background as noise.
And playing a game on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Coach Smith, what's been your go-to snack while you've been home?
This is awful. Pop-Tarts.
Hey, what's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
The brown sugar. The brown sugar cinnamon ones, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, you get the Walmart ones, and then it's like, oh, the others are still sleeping. I think I'll have a Pop-Tart. Late night snack, Pop-Tart. Yeah, it's been
I
awful.
like, that's okay.
Have you started any hobbies or home improvements while you've been at home?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I have been doing online schoolwork with my fourth grade granddaughter who lives with me. So I have been a fourth grade teacher during this pandemic too.
That's a good hobby.
Yeah.
Great.
Other than that, no hobbies, you know.
Coach, if you were not a coach, what career would you have?
Whew, that's a good question.
Fourth grade teacher.
Probably teaching. You know, at some point I went, you know, I was a phys ed major at University of Maine, and so the tennis has always, you know, fit right in with that. But some type of helping out others, you know, whether it be teacher or, you know, service to others in some other way. But that, I think that's just always what I'll do. I can't picture myself, you know, just being self-employed and not doing anything around other people.
That's that big teddy bear in you.
What's that?
I said, that's why you're a big teddy bear.
Yeah, I think that was the other one I looked at too, is what would your players, you know, say of you? And that was the first thing that came up, is that I can be hard on them, but I will tell you this, that if any of them have any problem at all, that my door is always open, and they take advantage of that. My office is by itself over by the tennis courts, and I have them come in and drop some things on me that I realize, yeah, I'm their parent, you know, in place while I'm there, you know, and that's a good thing, that they feel comfortable enough to be able to come to me with some of their heavier things.
Absolutely.
You're their life coach as well.
That could be scary, but yeah.
Coach, I guess this is a two-part question. What's your favorite pump-up song? And then does the team have a pump-up song that they listen to before matches?
The team listens to this song, Losing It. And I don't know who it's by, but it's on our playlist. It's more of a dance song and everything. The only problem is that I'll put it on, you know, in practice. You know, we'll have drill days where I'll put you know, music on and everything. And this song, Losing It, comes on, and all of a sudden I look around and all their rackets are down on the ground and they're doing dance moves out on the court. So they obviously get pumped up at it. You know, for me, I don't know, you know, it's some of those old, you know, old rock tunes, you know, We Will Rock You and some of that stuff. But a lot of, I think it's great, but a lot of those have gone by the wayside. You know, I mean, that's old music to the kids these days.
But they're classics.
That's right.
Coach, what is your biggest coaching pet peeve?
Oh, the biggest pet peeve that I have in coaching is when there isn't the sportsmanship going on. You know, when there is controversy and the person can't get control of themselves. You know, I think that to me is the biggest pet peeve. As far as everyday stuff, the day-to-day is being late to practice, you know, not being on time, not being ready to go. To me, is disrespectful to me and also to the team. And I know the individual player doesn't look at it that way, that there are circumstances and everything, but that's one of my pet peeves too, is that everybody else is here, you can be on time, you know, as well. So not a big one, but definitely there.
Oh no, we've heard that quite a few times, actually. You're not the only one.
Yeah, or getting 2 miles down the road and having one of your players, Coach, I left my sneakers back at my dorm. You know, I mean,
makes you nuts.
Yeah.
All right, Pamela, I think we are threw rapid fire. He did it. He dodged all the bullets.
Yeah, he looks unscathed to me.
All right. Good, good.
Coach Smith, we really appreciate you being on our panel today, and we thank you for being so candid. And as you can see, the contact information is there. If you are interested in tennis and you have a great GPA, and just let Coach Smith know. And we wish you the best for your season next year. And also, we just bid that you stay healthy and safe out there. Okay.
Thank you so much. And Pamela and Amanda, thank you for having me on, and thank you at USTA South Carolina for all that you do to not only promote tennis, but to carry it on too. Really appreciate everything you do.
Thanks again. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.